the recording start. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining Great White Squad. I am just super duper excited to be your squad leader for the next 3 weeks. I do love the fact that we have the page and the little chat. So the main thing is, if you don't ask questions, I don't know. Obviously, if there are questions that need to go to your upline chat, I highly recommend that. But like Candace asked today, what is everybody doing for their VIP? Little did she know that that was one of our things we were going to talk about tonight. So first and foremost, I hope you downloaded the Boards app. That training is going to come up in 1 hour. It is going to be a huge, awesome training. It is going to be a lot to take in. However, the cool thing is it's a StreamYard into Thriving Sisters, Dream Catchers, and Dream Team. You can go back to it anytime. If you have questions, what we are planning on doing is letting them do their training tonight. If you have any questions, you can drop them in the comments. And then we have another group of people that are training on Friday. The cool thing about Boards is the scripts and shit are already there. You can make your own. You can do your own thing. Yes, I love Jesus, but I cuss. So just get ready for it. So that's the main thing about that. The next thing I want to go over, the challenge for yesterday. It is uber important for you to put those 3 things that you're grateful for in front of you every single day. I am going to actually put it on a Post-it note that I just pull over to my calendar every single day because I use this kind of notebook. If you use the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 or whatever, the reason it is so important to keep that in front of you is when you get the no's, when you're having a hard day, when you're like, F this, I want to drop out of boot camp. I need you to go back to those 3 things that you're grateful for. Because I said it on the Monday Zoom, I'll say it again. Everybody in boot camp right now is working towards our next retreat. So there it is. I told you, you get the 411 on that. The next thing I wanted to talk about was how is everybody doing talking in their stories? Is that an issue for anybody that is on our squad? I don't know unless you tell me. So let me know and unmute if that's an issue for you, or if you're struggling, like talking about maybe you've got the product down, but you're struggling about the opportunity. So I want to open this up and ask if anybody has any questions or anything that they have about stories, talking on our stories, which is our assignment for the week.
Stories, the only way you can do the talking is to go through Instagram. Do I understand that correctly? Because I've always tried to figure out how you do the ongoing story and Facebook talking, and I can't until I just did the Instagram, which carried over to my Facebook. I have it set up like that anyway, but is there another way other than that I'm not aware of? Does it matter? Because that works.
I'm looking because I've never done it that way.
Okay. So, I mean, it worked in Instagram. And like I said, it carried it right over and did exactly what I saw when you do it. I just didn't know. I had no idea that was how you did it. So
I do the same thing with Instagram because you get a minute to record in your story on Instagram. If you do it on Facebook, they only give you like 15 seconds and it cuts you off. So yes, I do it just like that. I start in my Instagram and then share it over to my Facebook. So I get the full video in Facebook. So if there is a different way to do it other than that, yeah, I don't know either, but that's how I do it too.
I do mine the same way. It's just easier that way because I've got mine set up to where it automatically takes whatever I put on Instagram, either stories or post, and it moves it to Facebook also. So like you said, it's a longer time frame that you get on Instagram.
And I'm playing with it while y'all are talking, and I do not see either Charlotte or Charlene where there is a hands-free. So that's what I like about Instagram is the hands-free option. I was sitting here playing with it. I don't see that option. Plus, the only thing that you have to keep in mind when you're feeding them over on a normal basis, if you're not doing a poll, you're not doing a question, you're not doing anything like that, you can feed them over just fine with your captions, with your things, which this morning, don't get mad. Like I recorded something and my captions wouldn't work. Well, I didn't have time to re-record it. It just said no caption found. It's okay. Life goes on. But if you feed over your poll into Facebook, it will not work. So what I do, and this is $1 million tip, it saves time. I know all of y'all work full-time jobs, so why are we not going to be smarter, not harder? Everything saves to my camera roll. Every single video saves to my camera roll. So all I have to do at that point is when I go to Instagram, and I'm going to do a quick little story. Look at me working with Great White Squad. We're coming in hot. Okay, so if I were to put a poll on here, it's going to save down into my stories and all of that. So what I would do is just go. Okay, I actually have to do it to show y'all. I apologize. I don't know if y'all have ever done this. When you go, I don't have to do it. When you go right here and get ready to share it, you see where that blue button is? Click that blue button off, and it'll tell you that you can turn it off for Facebook for one time, or you can do it all the time. If I'm doing a poll or something like that, I turn it off once so it doesn't feed over. Otherwise, guess what's going to happen? You're going to have 2 stories on your Facebook and you're going to look like an idiot. I've done it before, come from one who knows. So then it's saved in my camera roll. I take it over to Facebook real quick, do it, and add my poll at the end. So anybody have any questions about that? If there's a simpler way, I have no idea. Tell me. Everybody good on that? Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is, so everybody's comfortable. Give me a thumbs up. You're good with talking in your stories. You feel confident. You understand that it doesn't just need to be the Thrive experience. If you take a plus line product in the middle of the day, Courtney the other day has never tried Pink Pro. She did a thing about Pink Pro and had an order that same day. Don't just get lost in the 3 simple steps. Also, opportunity. It is imperative for you to talk about the opportunity with this business. People are fixing to have to start buying school supplies. People are not even getting to take vacations. I know that seems like a really hard one to do, but you've got to get it out in front of people. It may not be even the product that intrigues them. It could be the opportunity and the extra money at this point. So make sure that you're doing that. Now, I wanted to break down our glow and grow. And I wanted to kind of just go over our glows. We got a lot of people in here that understand customer service, that are really good connecting with friends, that are social butterflies, that appreciate others. We have one in here that's local, that understands locals, dedicated, connections in groups, desire to grow, and pushing through fear. So to me, we have a very, very strong group of individuals that want more. Okay. So if we need to be checking out and going in and wanting up, go into each other's posts and be cheering each other on. That's one thing I learned this weekend at the retreat. If I didn't take a lot away, the main thing I took away is, and you probably heard me say on my trainings, don't always worry about posting on Thriver's post. You need to be focusing on other people. Shame the hell on me, because we need to be loving on our people. So I want to ask y'all 5 to 10 minutes a day to go in and just comment on Thriver's post. Cheer them up, cheer them on. If they make it, like all of us did a Why Wednesday today. Every single one of us needs to take 10 minutes and go and comment on that Why Wednesday for everybody. The reason why, number one, it shoots it back to the top. Number two, we're a community. And isn't it nice when one of your fellow Thrivers, your community, your girls comes on and just cheers you on? That's huge. So let's make a point to try to do that these next 3 weeks to each other. It's not the end of the world. It's not an assignment. It's just, if you have extra time, I am going to start taking 5 to 10 minutes a day to do that. That's just a challenge that I want to throw out there to you if you have the time to do it. On our grow. So a lot of them, there were 2 that are a lot of, and then, 3. Turning a conversation, just in a regular conversation, over into Thrive. That's number 1. Number 2, turning a sampler into a customer. And then number 3, just kind of self-confidence, getting out of our own way, staying consistent. So I wanted to open this up tonight to talk about staying consistent. Let's just start with that one. That one to me is the easiest one. Guys, you're in boot camp. Staying consistent is good. Self-confidence. The main thing you have to do is remember, just like Courtney told us today, go back to why you started this product. Go back and remember who you were before, and it will build your self-confidence. We just sometimes forget where we came from. This is our new normal. So I really want you to hone in on that. As far as your consistency, I am going over each and every one of y'all's questionnaires and I will be handing y'all assignments individually next week. But as far as consistency, you've got to find what works in your schedule. And for me, even though I work from home, I have to get up. Do you have the option to hit start video? What do you mean?
Sorry, Shantae said she was having a problem making
Oh,
herself
okay. I'm like,
visible on
wait.
here.
I didn't record it from the beginning. Okay, sorry. Good job. The main thing about staying consistent is you got to find the time that's going to work for you, and you have to make no excuses come hell or high water. Just like next week, I'm going on a vacay. We are literally flying by the seat of our pants. I have nowhere where I'm going to be. I don't know if I'm going to have service, but I will make sure that my squad is first, that my things happen first. It is just a lifestyle that it has to be a part of your life. It just does. And if you start it now, you will stay consistent and find that. And I know you've heard that on trainings and so forth, so I'm not going to beat a dead horse. The one that I want to move to next, turning samplers into customers. Who has had success with this? Somebody speak up if you've had success with this lately, that your samplers are turning into customers. Tay, if you don't unmute, you get a spanking because I know you have.
They were the birthday reach outs is what I got. Not necessarily the sample from it, but I did get a lot of samples out. But my last order was actually like I reached out to her for her birthday thing and was going to give her a card. And she was like, you know what? Let's just go. Can I just come over and we'll order it? Okay. So it was basically just the birthday reach out, but I have been giving a lot of samples. And I'm getting some feedback, but not a whole lot of orders that way.
Okay. Anybody else having luck with samples turning into orders?
I feel like I'm hit or miss on this. Like I either have good success with it or then I don't have any at all. Like, and I steered away from doing samples for a really long time because of that, because I was like, okay, I'm giving them 3 days and you know, they may feel something, but it's not enough to make them want to continue, or they didn't feel anything at all. And so I steered away from samples for a long time. And I will say when the Thrive sample link came out, I started utilizing that a lot. I do get a lot of requests, but still struggle with getting them to continue. I think it was just not this past weekend, but the week before, I did get a customer from a sample pack, but that was the first customer that I've gotten in a really long time from a sample. So it's just kind of hit or miss for me. I don't have a consistent thing with it, and I'm definitely open to suggestions on learning how to make that more of a thing.
Awesome. Anybody else have any luck with it that wants to speak up? Okay, so what I'm going to do is give you a couple of examples. Number one, on birthday samples, it's a hit or miss for me as well. I give away the damn farm because I just feel like people need it. But I will tell you this, I wouldn't have had Brittany Williams if it wasn't for a sample. Pretty much every one of my level ones from 8.5 years ago, if I would not have sampled them first, they would not be with me today. So I do believe that if you have the opportunity, maybe set yourself a goal a month. I'm going to give away 3 free samples this month, and I'm going to do 3 samples that paid. One of the great ways that I turn people over from samples, and I don't always do, but when I do, at least I'm not out any money. So if somebody is interested in a sample, I just say, you know what? Hey, Courtney, I have a 3-day sample. It's $15, but as soon as you order, I'm taking that $15 off of your first order. And that lets them know right off the bat that they have skin in the game for you. Number 2, they're really not out any money because you're giving your money right back to them. So I want to encourage you to try that as well, because I have had lots of success with that. Another thing that I like to do is 2 or 3 of my customers, I kid you not, came from a live video that I did over 1.5 years ago with Lacey Vamos. And at the very end of it, I said, if anybody is interested in a free sample, let me know. So I got myself out there, I did a dual live, and I ended it with a free sample. And the thing with the samples is it's a hit or miss. I have no $1 million tip to tell you. You just have to play with what works for you. But if you want them to have skin in the game and you don't want to be out any money, then offer them their $15 back when they place their first order. Courtney said she also loved Leanne's idea about for every post they share about their sample, they'll get $10 off. Absolutely. And I need to start incorporating that because honestly, I just forgot about that until she said it. So you may be sitting here and thinking, wow, Lindsay, $10 is a lot of money. Okay, $5. Hey, every time that, Gabby, every single time that you go and you share about your Thrive experience on your social media and you tag me in it, I'm going to give you $5 off your order. That's huge. So make sure that you are utilizing those things and how important they are. Anybody else have anything they want to add about samples? Because I will tell you, it is a hit or a miss. So the main thing is you've got to get Thrive, GPOT, you got to get people on Thrive. You've got to get it in your hands. You have to have them in a group chat, period, end of discussion. I love to put my samplers in a group chat like the minute that I send out their sample. And I have learned, and I took this tip from Samantha over 1.5 years ago before she ever even thought about boot camp. I tell anybody that does a sample, I do not expect you to feel anything. Those are my famous last words now. I do not expect you to feel anything, Courtney. What I do know that you're going to love is that it's simple. You're going to love the shake. And by day 3, you're going to be ready to start your E60 experience with me. Bam, bam, bam. Why? Because if I sit here and assume that they're going to feel like $1 million in 3 days, they won't. These people are expecting a miracle and still want to eat bonbons and drive through McDonald's. Let's just be honest. So if you set them up, I don't want to say for failure, but you set them up just knowing that they're not going to feel anything, but they're going to love the 3 days and the 3 steps and the shake. Like I build up the shake like none other. And that has helped for me. And I stay in constant contact with them. Tonight, when we do this boards training, there is legitimately all kinds of scripts for people from the time they start day 1 to day 3 through their samples, that when you go to your keyboard, let me just show, I'm just going to give you a little, I'm going to have to save this video. Let me just give you a little tidbit of what we're doing. I'm going to text Courtney Summers because she's on here. There's a little world, just going to give you a little insight. And there is all of these fun little scripts that are fixing to come up that y'all are all going to get. And so the first time that there's a sample script, what the heck just happened? There's a sample script for people that are on their experience day 1. You're just going to go press it. You're going to go say, oh, I want this. How to take your sample. Bam. I'm doing it in the wrong spot. I'm still learning these scripts too, people. Bam. I didn't have to type that whole thing out. I can't show y'all the damn thing. That whole script is in there for you. You're going to be able to type it, press it, and bam. You're not going to have to say all the things and do all the things. You're going to have one click and it's going to tell them how to take the Thrive experience. You're going to have one click that says, hey, it's day 1. I'm so excited. The things, everything. It's a click of how you do it. You can do it in your messenger. You can do it in your stories. So don't stop doing samples, even though maybe you're in a hump right now. The next thing I want to talk about is, and this was a common one in like 3 of us, is asking for the sale. The convo turning into Thrive. That was I need to grow in that area. So does anybody have great success with turning their reach outs and follow-ups into Thrivers? If you do, please unmute. Because this is supposed to be all of us interacting, not me talking the whole time.
Okay, so y'all know I'm a hairdresser. So I close the sale just about every day, all day. Not so much with our Thrive though, because I could carry a conversation and I can get down to like the nitty gritty of like what their problem is, what their issue is. If I've had a conversation by the 3rd day, I usually can get them to go. But when it comes down to it, it's usually like, the money or whatever. So just coming up with solutions to get around those aspects is really what it's all about, because they could give you like a bazillion excuses. But it comes down to priorities, like what's the priority for them. As far as, I mean, I was just talking to one of the girls today. People in my Marion salon pay $150. The Bucyrus salon that I was in today, they only charge 70 for the same service. Like, people will still spend the money. It just, you have to like give them what they're worth and make them realize that they're worth what we have to offer. So just try to get that through everybody's head when I'm talking to them. And it usually goes back and forth between like the husband and the wife trying to like, I don't know, the conversation of everything, I guess. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Mhm. I think my biggest deal is I can carry on a conversation with people all day long in Messenger. And I have probably 30, 40 messages between people back and forth over the last 5 months we've been doing this. I don't know when just to bite the bullet and say, okay, sis, it's time. And maybe I'm just not being bold enough. So has anybody had an experience with where they're going from their custom conscious comments, their 3-2-1s, where they're just finally saying, hey, like, what are you saying? Or is anybody doing that yet in this group?
I will chime in here for a second, and I'm not taking credit for this by any means. This is something that Tammy has said forever, and I have a hard time getting in the habit of doing this. Is that when you start those conversations with people and you're like, hey, how are you? And they come back and ask you the same question. That's your opportunity to talk about how great things are going. My Thrive business is doing amazing. I get to help people feel better every day. So, like, dropping it in, but then like kind of scaling it back, because you're telling them that you have a Thrive business, but you're still asking about how they're doing. You're still having that conversation. You're still building that relationship with them. And then who knows, maybe they're going to come back and be like, I've been seeing you post about that stuff. Like, what is it? Tell me about it. That could lead into it. And then if you are in Messenger with them, you've probably, or you should be, checking out their social media and seeing what kind of stuff they're sharing. If there's somebody that's constantly sharing about being exhausted and tired, what their pain points are, right? Like, get to know what that person needs before you try to sell them something. Jamie Lindbergh did that training. If any of you guys saw that, it was bomb. And it really opened my eyes to where she said there needs to be a middle connection with the person that you're talking to. Yeah, you're doing the reach out. Yeah, you're sending the happy birthday message and offering them a sample, but are you really getting to know them as a person and what they need and being relatable to that person? So then you have that option to say, the business that I'm in could really help you with sleeping at night, or, something like that. But I think it's hard for us to get in the habit, especially those of us who work full-time jobs or part-time jobs or whatever, just working in general. When people ask me what I do for a living, I'm like, oh, I do anesthesia billing. And I don't say, oh, I have a Thrive business. Like, we get stuck on talking about our full-time job, but not about what this business can do. So I think turning that script a little bit into getting in the habit of saying that this is a business. You guys put time and effort into this, right? You're getting paid every Tuesday for it, right? It's a job. We should be talking about it. We should be telling people this is what we do. And maybe that could be a conversation starter for them to start asking questions to us about it.
Absolutely. And I love that. And I hear from Tammy B all the time, and I've never heard her say it like that. So I love that, because I think my mind just racked up how many damn conversations I've had of how are you doing? And I bet your sweet ass I didn't say that. Another thing that I learned too is if a lot of people are liking your post, loving your post, but they're not commenting on your post, you need to be reaching out to them and just saying, Oh my gosh, Charlotte, thank you so much for loving my post. It means a whole lot to me. Are you open to hearing more about what I do? Or are you just one of my biggest cheerleaders? That is gut wrenching. Like the minute that I say that, I want to puke. But you know what? I feel like I am not asking for the sale or trying to even close the sale. I'm not doing anything. And if I don't become bold, then I'm never going to know. What's the worst thing? Jamie said it. What's the worst? There's 3 things that's going to happen. Number 1, they're going to say, yes, I'm interested. Number 2, they're going to say, I'm just your biggest cheerleader. Keep on keeping on. Number 3, they're going to ghost you. Big deal. I mean, how many times have we been ghosted in this business? I get ghosted on the daily. It's still 8.5 years later. So I want to encourage you, myself included, because I know there's 1, 2, there were 3 or 4 of us that said that, like just getting out of our own way, starting the conversation. So I want to encourage you to, if people ask you back, just say, hey, my Thrive business, we're doing so good. And I'm so happy that I'm living my best life. Number 2, get in there. And if people are liking and loving your stuff, it's time for us to get bold and just ask the question. Number 3, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. In Messenger, it's just time for me to start, and maybe y'all are in the same boat. It's time for us to just start moving forward and closing that sale. One of the other things that I wanted to talk about real quick, and then I'm going to open it up because I was trying to keep this under 30 minutes. The next thing is, I see there's a couple of people on here that are having problems with their content. Guys, 1000%, content should be one of the easiest things you should do. It should be something that you find that works for you. Are you a Make It Monday, Transformation Tuesday? Like there are so many ways that it should be super simple for you to make your content. I highly, Courtney just put something in the chat. So I totally want you to copy it right now because I can't, sometimes on Zooms, it will show you, sometimes it won't. Anyways, if you are having a problem with your content, I need you to understand that it is your responsibility. Pinterest can be your best friend. You could go right now to Pinterest and do which I think I have the calendar for July. You could go right now to Pinterest and do a social media month of July, and it'll tell you today's National French Fry Day. Go put a French fry thing up. What kind of French fry do you like? Your content should be something that you sit down one day a week and work on. And you should have a thing. If you're struggling with that, it's okay. Find yourself a theme and stick to it. Guess what your best themes are? Your 5s. Your 5s are your best themes. You could literally have a day of the week for all 5 of your deals. And then on 2 days of the week, you could have one where you talk about your testimony of Thrive and do a live. And on the other one, you could talk about your business. So there, I just gave you 7 things. There should be no reason why you don't. And I know it's hard at times, but guys, Pinterest can be your best friend. I wish that I was as smart as I was, and I wish that I came up with that bomb ass content. I call it bomb because it makes me feel good. But you know what I do? I'll go type in Google and I'll say body positivity. And it will come up with some of the best words. I copy, I paste it, I edit it to Lindsay Talk and how my voice would be or how I would say it to somebody. And I go and post it. Don't make this harder than what it has to be. Okay, let's go. We have 5 minutes. Let's open it up. Any other questions that you have? There's no right or wrong or stupid question in here. What do you need help with that we can work on throughout the week? I know we have VIP coming, but what is it that you need help with? Okay, go on.
It's not really something I need help with, but something I never really thought about. I made a post last night with the sample pack, and saying, hey, I've got X amount, blah, blah, blah. Well, I had someone reach out to me and I didn't even think about it, but I had women's vitamins in there and oh, well, never mind. It's for women. And this was a guy. So I was like, no. So I jumped in my messenger and talked to him. I said, listen, we have men's capsules, we have women's. So I want to be more cognizant of like not only just posting stuff with the women's capsules, I need to post them with the men's too, because we forget about men being thrivers because it's mostly women, from what I've seen. Mm-hmm. So, that's just something I don't know if anybody else has noticed, but I want to make sure that I'm more aware of reaching out to the men also.
I absolutely love that. That's a super simple way of just posting the capsules and letting everybody know that we have men and women. So great job on that. That's always food for thought. What you got, Kara? I knew you were unmuted.
A big issue I've been having right now is just the confidence. Like, I don't know what's going on, but it's like I'm scared of success, if that makes sense.
So the main thing I want you to do is you got to keep those 3 grateful things in front of you and go back to remembering how you felt prior to Thrive. And the most important thing is you got to have that meeting in the mirror. Olivia said it best in some training. Get up and talk to yourself in the mirror and say, I deserve this. I am good at this. I can do this. Do you have I am statements? Does everybody here have I am statements? Okay.
Yes.
I need everybody to go print those boogers off at my retreat this weekend. Courtney and Tay can vouch for this. I made everybody come in my bathroom and say my I am statements out loud to them, and they just had to change the names. It is legitly sits right here. And I have to say that every single time that I'm having that moment where I don't feel worthy enough. So I want to encourage you to dream big, believe bigger, and just stop selling yourself short, because that fear can ruin your business. It can. I've seen it with too many people. Man, how would it be to be the successful one in your household and to be able to provide for your family and to be able to tell, I mean, I'm assuming you have kids. I should know this, but I don't. That you can be like, hey, mom just paid cash for a Walt Disney World trip. You ready to go? I mean, think about the bigger picture here and don't sell yourself short. Have that meeting in the mirror, that pep talk. Anybody want to add to that real quick?
Oh yeah, I'm going to have to step in here because Kara, first of all, I know I don't know you all that well, but there's a lot of people on this screen I don't know all that well, but I do know one thing, and that every single one of us are deserving to live the life that we want to live. So what part of success scares you? Do you think you don't deserve it? You think you don't deserve success?
Maybe. I'm not 100% positive what's scaring me about it. I know I'm just in my way.
Yeah, well, I will tell you too, because before Thrive came along, I didn't think that I was worthy of having a 6-figure bank account or having a nice home. And don't get me wrong, I don't have a 6-figure bank account, but I'm just saying, like, those were things that we're taught to believe bigger, like Lindsay said, and dream bigger. But we're like, oh yeah, that's great to say, but I'll never be able to have that. You absolutely can. And I'm going to share just a quick story with you before we wrap this up, you guys. On my memories today, popped up the first vision board that I ever made. Okay. Every single thing on that vision board, except for like 2 things, are crossed off of it. So if you don't have a vision board, that is going to be my challenge to you, is to start there. Because when you can see what you are working for every single day, you're going to know why you're getting up and you're doing this business and what you're fighting for. So if you don't know why you're here, it's going to be hard for you to work and feel like you deserve it. But if you see those goals and those dreams and that vision, and you're like, I'm working on that because I'm taking my kids to Disney, or I'm working on that because I want a brand new car, then you're going to have that motivation to get up and work, right?
Yes.
Well, you deserve it. Every single one of you deserve it.
Thank you.
I add to that, Kara, I also, when I got home from the retreat, I also did like what my success looked like on a piece of paper and for my breakdown. But you also want to know what you're going to feel like. That was the biggest thing that we took away this weekend was, how do you want to feel with success? So not only are you going to have your vision board, but how do you actually want to feel? And that's when you can tie that emotion to something, that's going to like keep you on a positive train to move you forward.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely.
Every day is a new day, sis. You just have that meeting in the mirror with yourself and do that. I encourage everyone to do that, because let me tell you, I got to feel the same way. So I know VIP is happening right now. I know that we have till Tuesday to do it. Guys, I have no words of wisdom to tell you other than what you're doing every single day. You're doing your reach outs. The words of wisdom that I have for you is all those people that are liking and loving your post. All of those people, pro tip, you can go to your messenger right now and you can type in the word thrive. You can type in the word energy right at the top. You can type in anything, like whatever it is that your reach out is. Maybe it's sleep. Anybody that you've ever messaged in your whole messenger with the word thrive is going to come up. I encourage you to go back to those individuals and just say, hey, you've been on my mind. It's time for me to get you started on this E60 experience with me. You want the details. Boom. Don't think about it. Just do it. Don't, keep it short and sweet. Hey, you were on my mind. I have a special going on right now. I wanted to see if you wanted the details. That's all you got to say. Lindsay, I don't have a special going on right now. Give them free shipping. Remember, if you're getting your products for free, yes, those product credits really need to be used to build your business. Did you purchase the promoter upgrade pack and get the 10% coupons back? I don't know. If you don't have a special, then guess what you do? You tell them what retail price it is without auto ship, and then you tell them what the auto ship price is. That's a golden nugget right there. If you have nothing to offer, you damn sure do, because you have auto ship. So the main thing is it's time to be balls to the wall, guys. It's time for us to be bold. I would love to see everybody on here hit VIP 400 and get those extra shekels in your pocket and get those new thrivers started. So we have less than a minute. Thank you so much for joining. Boards does start in 20 minutes. I know it's a lot on top of a lot, but hey, we're here to learn and grow and do the things. I will see y'all next week. Use the chat. If you have a question, use the page to post your stuff, or actually use the page. You can just put a colored background and say, hey, this is the verbiage I'm using for VIP. We all can drop it under there and get back to it simple. So if you're needing verbiage, somebody go drop that in there and let's start dropping our verbiage in there. Peace, love, and great white squad.